Dear students, in this module 6 of paper 3, we will be covering the National Sample Survey organization of its various rounds as part of sample surveys. The major learning objectives of this module are to focus on National Sample Survey organization, its organizational structure, and various publications of NSSO data sources are important issues that we are going to cover in this module. The National Sample Survey organization. When we discuss about NSSO, we need to understand the historical background that led to the establishment of NSSO. The foundation of the statistical system in India was laid down by the British administration. The provincial governments were required to publish the relevant statistics in their annual administration reports. These statistics covered a wide range of subjects. The forms for this information were later made uniform, and the first statistical abstract of British India, which was published for the year 1840-1865, was based on such information provided by the provinces. One of the notable contributions was the publication of district gazettes. The Indian Industrial Commission 1916 to 1918 recommended that a department of industries should be created in the provinces. Later, the Royal Commission on Agriculture in India, that is during 1924 to 25, pointed out that not only should the provinces be self-sufficient in the field of statistics, but also that there should be a large central organization. Statistics in India thus developed in the provinces, expanding in scope to cover the fields of agriculture, industries, civil supplies, education, forestry, labor, cooperation, health, and various vital statistics. The first significant development in the pre-independence era was the constituting of Statistical Committee 1862 for the preparation of forms to collect statistical information on different subject areas. This led to the publication entitled Statistical Abstract of British India in 1868. Following the recommendations of the Indian Famine Commission, agriculture departments were opened in 1881 in various provinces for collection of agricultural statistics. The first publication on the subject, Agricultural Statistics of British India, was brought out in 1886. A statistical branch was established in 1862 in the then Finance Department of Government of India. In 1895, the statistical branch was converted into full-fledged statistical bureau. Functions and activities of the bureau were carried out through two wings, namely Commercial Intelligence and Statistics, headed by the Director General. The Director General of Commercial Intelligence and Statistics until 1914 was responsible for the compilation and publication of almost all the principal statistics information on demography, crop production and prices, rainfall, industrial production, education, health and hygiene, mining, roads and communication, and other subject matters. In April 1914, a separate Directorate of Statistics came into being. Subsequently, the Directorate of Statistics and Commercial Intelligence Department were merged into a single organization, which was renamed as Directorate of Commercial Intelligence and Statistics in January 1925. In 1925, Economic Enquiry Committee was set up to inquire into the question of adequacy of the statistical data and the desirability and possibility of supplementing it and undertaking an economic enquiry. The committee recommended that the central and provincial governments should come under the supervision of the central authority that would act as an advisor to the government in all statistical matters. The Indian Economic Enquiry Committee 1925 recommended the establishment of Central Statistical Bureau. The committee appointed by the Government of India in 1934 under Messrs. Bowley and Robertson for facilitating a further study of economic problems in India made recommendations about the organization of Central Statistical Department. Only after India became independent did the Government of India establish a Central Statistical Unit, that is in 1949, which was later on 1951 converted into Central Statistical Organization CSO and the Department of Statistics, which constitute presently the statistics wing of the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. The need for sound database of various fields was keenly felt by late Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. It was at his instance a large-scale sample survey agency known as National Sample Survey (NSS) came into existence in 1950. Professor P.C. Mahalanobis, who was regarded as a pioneer in both theoretical and professional statistics, was appointed as the first statistical advisor to the Cabinet Government of India in January 1949. He was the architect of statistical system of independent India. The coming of the era of developmental planning in India gave significant impetus to the development of statistics. A nuclear statistical unit was set up at the center of the Cabinet Secretariat in 1949. This unit was developed later in 1951 into the Central Statistical Organization, that is CSO. The National Sample Survey (NSS) came into being in 1950 to collect information through sample surveys on a variety of socio-economic aspects. The work relating to finalization of sampling design, schedules of enquiries, writing of instructions, training of field staff, processing of data, and writing of reports was all entrusted to the Indian Statistical Institute. National Sample Survey Office was set up in 1950 and subsequently it is recognized in 1970. In March 1970, the National Sample Survey Organization was recognized and all aspects of its work were brought under a single government organization, namely National Sample Survey Office, under the overall technical guidance of Governing Council. NSSO functions under the overall direction of Steering Committee with requisite independence and autonomy in the matter of collection, processing and publication of National Sample Survey data. In addition to the non-official chairman, the Steering Committee composes of academicians, data users from central and state government departments and senior officers of the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. The NSSO is headed by the Director General and Chief Executive Officer (CEO), who is also the member secretary of the Steering Committee. National Sample Survey Organization has been conducting multi-subject integrated sample surveys since 1950. There are mainly four types, namely household surveys, enterprise surveys, village facilities, land and livestock holding. There is a well-defined cycle of surveys extending over a period of 10 years. Schedule of surveys for every 10-year cycle, consumer expenditure in employment and unemployment twice, social consumption like health, education, etc. twice, unorganized manufacturing twice, unorganized services twice, land and livestock holding once, open round ones, special surveys are also undertaken by National Sample Survey Organization. The National Sample Survey Organization carries out socio-economic surveys, undertakes data collection for annual survey of industries, sample checks on area enumeration and crop estimation surveys, and prepares the urban frames useful in drawing of urban samples, besides collection of price data from rural and urban sectors. The major activities of the NSSO pertain to the survey design, field operations, processing of NSSO data, and publication of NSSO reports. The subjects taken up under various socio-economic surveys are surveys on consumer expenditure, employment, unemployment, social consumption, like in issues related to health, education, etc., manufacturing enterprises and service sector enterprises in the unorganized sector being covered once in 5 years, while subjects like land, livestock holding, debt and investment are covered once in 10 years. Other than irregular surveys, ad hoc surveys are also undertaken to cover special topics of current interest to meet the demand of data users. The data on consumer expenditure and employment unemployment were also collected in every round from a thin sample along with the main subject of inquiry up to 64th round of national sample surveys. The 62nd round of NSS, that is July 2005 to June 2006, was on unorganized manufacturing and usual annual survey of household consumer expenditure and employment unemployment. The results of the survey are brought in the form of NSS reports, which are available for sale. The NSS reports are also available on the websites of the Ministry for viewing, downloading free of cost. Summary of the results of these surveys are also published in Sarvechana, a biannual technical journal of the National Sample Survey Organization. Validated unit-level data relating to the national sample surveys are available on CD-ROM for sale at nominal prices. The National Sample Survey Organization undertakes the field work of the Annual Survey of Industries (ASI) under the statutory provisions of the Collections of Statistics Act 1953, Central Rule 1959, in the whole country except for the state of Jammu and Kashmir, where the Annual Survey of Industries is conducted under J&K Collection of Statistics Act 1961. The survey covers all factories registered under Section 2M1 and 2M2 of the Factories Act 1948. The coverage extends not only to manufacturing sector but also to other categories under services such as cold storage, water supply, gas production, motion picture production, laundry services, repair of motor vehicles and other consumer durables. However, defense factories, technical training institutions, jail factories, units engaged in storage and distribution of oil, restaurants or caves, computer services are kept out of the survey. From ASI 1998-99, the electricity units engaged in generation, transmission and distribution registered with the Central Electricity Authority (CEA) are excluded. The departmental units such as railway workshops, road transportation corporation workshops, government mints, sanitation, water supply, gas storage, etc. are not covered, as these are alternative sources of their data compilation for the gross domestic product (GDP) estimates by the National Accounts Division of Central Statistical Office, that is CSO. The NSSO also provides technical guidance to states in the field of agricultural statistics for conducting crop estimation surveys and keeps a continuous watch on the quality of crop statistics through the improvement of crop statistics scheme. The NSSO regularly collects rural price data on monthly basis from shops or outlets from selected markets located in a sample of 603 villages for compilation of consumer price index, that is agriculture labor or rural labor. For urban area, price data is being collected from compilation of new series of consumer price index urban from 310 towns spread all over states and union territories. The National Sample Survey Organization conducts an urban frame survey UFS for providing sampling frame of first stage units in the urban sector for its surveys. It is carried out in a cycle of 5 years known as phase of urban frame survey, thereby providing an updated frame twice in span of 10 years. The NSSO has 4 divisions. The organization structure of NSSO is one Survey Design and Research Division SDRD. This division, located at Kolkata, is responsible for technical planning of surveys, formulation of concepts and definitions, sampling designs, designing of inquiry schedules, drawing up of tabulation plans, analysis and presentation of survey results. SDRD is responsible for planning of the survey, formulation of sampling design, formulation of concepts and definitions, drawing of survey schedules, writing of instructions to field staff, preparation of validation and tabulation programs, finalization of survey results and release of reports, providing technical guidance in sampling techniques to various official agencies. The next division is called Field Operations Division FOD. The division with its headquarters at New Delhi, Faridabad, and a network of 6 zonal offices, 49 regional offices, and 118 sub-regional offices spread throughout the country is responsible for the collection of primary data for the surveys undertaken by National Sample Survey Organization. Functions of Field Operation Division or collection of data for annual survey of industries, socio-economic surveys, price collection surveys, and follow-up survey of economic census. Updating of urban frame survey blocks, sample check on area enumeration and crop cutting experiments, and providing technical guidance to the states in developing suitable survey techniques on area yield statistics. Also focusing on ad hoc surveys like NPISH, UNICEF, etc. The training activities mainly refers to conducting survey specific training programs for different levels of field functionaries, annual survey of industries. The major objectives refers to supply of data on different indicators on organized manufacturers, which is useful for estimation of contribution of manufacturing industries organized sector to the national income, systematic study of the structure of industries, providing estimates of economic parameters on state level for industries. In the case of urban frame surveys, UFS is conducted on continuing basis to provide an updated frame of first stage units FSUs in urban areas and also in newly formed towns. Each town or city is divided into compact aerial UFS blocks with clear-cut identifiable boundaries and permanent landmarks having a population content of 600 to 800 and 120 to 180 households respectively. In the area of agricultural statistics, a scheme called Improvement of Crop Statistics ICS is in operation since 1973. The salient features of ICS scheme are sample check of the primary field work relating to area enumeration and area aggregation. 2. Supervision of crop cutting experiments in each agriculture year. 3. The findings of the ICS scheme are brought out in the form of reports on review of crop statistics system in various states. Based on the data contained in the crop estimation surveys conducted by the states every year, a report titled consolidated results of crop estimation surveys on principal crops is brought out by FOD. Design sample checks, selection of villages for experiments, schedule canvassing and report writing. Yield rates based on central sample and pooled sample, advanced yield estimates through crop cutting experiments CCE. The CCE consists of identification and marking of experimented plots of a specified size and shape in a selected field on the principle of random sampling. The yield estimates of major crops are obtained through analysis of crop cutting experiments. The various important uses of socio-economic surveys mainly include poverty estimation, labor force and employment estimates of and projections, national income estimations, estimations of literacy rates, estimation of disability. Then the third division is called Data Processing Division, DPD. The division with its headquarters Kolkata and 6 other data processing centers at various places is responsible for sample selection, software development, processing, validation and tabulation of the data collected through surveys. Data Processing Division is responsible for processing of survey schedules canvassed in various socio-economic surveys. The various functions of Data Processing Division are sample selection and preparation of sample list of socio-economic surveys, preparation or checking of multiplier details, pre-data entry scrutiny of filled-in schedules, data entry, validation and tabulation, development of softwares, assistance to states in data processing. The next division is called Coordination and Publication Division, CPD. This division, located at New Delhi, coordinates all the activities of different divisions of National Sample Survey Organization. It also brings out the biannual journal of NSSO titled Sarvechana and organizes national seminars on the results of various socio-economic surveys undertaken by NSSO. Coordination and Publication Division is mainly responsible for coordinating the activities of all the 4 divisions of NSSO, dissemination of survey results and analysis through the biannual technical journal Sarvechana and national seminars, providing assistance to the steering committee of NSSO, supplying survey data on various rounds to individuals, research scholars, research institutions and other private and government bodies, liaison with other departments or ministries on various matters concerning National Sample Survey Organization, replies to Parliament questions. Let us discuss about the various recent socio-economic surveys. Say for instance, NSS 59th round, which was conducted during January 2003 to December 2003. The collection of data on land and livestock holdings was the major focus. Debt and investment, household consumer expenditure, employment and unemployment. In the case of NSS 60th round, conducted during January 2004 to June 2004, mainly focusing on morbidity and healthcare, household consumer expenditure, employment and unemployment. NSS 61st round, that is in July 2004 till June 2005, the focus was on household consumer expenditure, employment and unemployment. The NSS 62nd round, conducted during July 2005 to June 2006, focused on unorganized manufacturing enterprises, household consumer expenditure, employment and unemployment. NSS 63rd round, July 2006 to June 2007, main focus was on unorganized services enterprises, financial services included, trades excluded, household consumer expenditure. The NSS 64th round mainly conducted by focusing on participation and expenditure in education, employment and unemployment, migration, household consumer expenditure, which was conducted during July 2007 to June 2008. NSS 65th round, which was conducted during July 2008 to June 2009, mainly focused on domestic tourism, housing conditions, urban slums and civic communities. The NSS 66th round during July 2009 to June 2010, which was conducted, mainly focused on household consumer expenditure, employment and unemployment, nutritional intake, energy sources of Indian households, public distribution systems, status of educational and vocational training in India. The NSS 67th round, the period during July 2010 to June 2011, mainly focused on various characteristics of unincorporated non-agricultural enterprises. During July 2011 to June 2012, the NSS 68th round was conducted and its main focus areas are employment and unemployment, pattern of consumer expenditure, household consumption of goods and services, participation of women in specific activities, nutritional intake in India, public distribution system, energy sources of Indian households. NSS 69th round, July 2012 to December 2012, the round mainly focused on drinking water, sanitation, hygiene and housing conditions in India, urban slums. The NSS 70th round, which was conducted during January 2013 to December 2013, focused mainly on the issues related to land and livestock holdings, all India debt and investment, situation assessment of agricultural households. The National Sample Survey 71st round, that was held during January 2014 to June 2014, focused on issues related to social consumption aspects in the areas of health, education. The National Sample Survey Organization, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation have been regularly conducting nationwide surveys on various socio-economic projects. Results of these surveys are mainly used for planning, policy formulation and decision making. Currently, 75th round of National Sample Survey on household consumer expenditure and household social consumption on health and education is in progress. The fieldwork for collection of data for this survey is from 1st July 2017 to 30th June 2018. The National Sample Survey Organization has also launched a new employment-unemployment survey, namely Periodic Labor Force Survey, that is in short form PLFS. PLFS is a continuous, regular survey for generating estimates of various labor force indicators on quarterly basis for urban areas and annual basis for both rural and urban areas at state or union territory levels and all India level. During the next round, that is 76th round, which is expected during July 2018 to December 2018, the National Sample Survey Organization has planned to conduct an all India survey on drinking water, sanitation, hygiene and housing conditions and in the area of disability. With a view to collect data directly using household IT devices, mainly tablets, in place of paper schedules, a computer-assisted personal interviewing, short form CAPI, solution is developed by National Sample Survey Organization with technical assistance received from the World Bank. It is being used for collecting data for the Periodic Labor Force Survey PLFS. Further, a standing steering committee of National Sample Survey Organization on Information Technology has been constituted to facilitate switching over from paper schedules, which are being used for collection of data in its regular socio-economic surveys, to digital methods of tools. In the area of various publications of the reports, NSSO has brought out several of its publications with a view to help the various sources of information to reach out to the various users in different sectors of developmental issues. The reports on various rounds of National Sample Survey or surveys have been published from time to time. More than 525 NSS reports have been published so far. Biannual Technical Journal Sarvekshana 103rd issue has been published in September 2017. Results of National Sample Surveys are brought out in the form of National Sample Survey reports, which are available at the website of the Ministry www.mospi.nic.in. So far, more than 526 reports have been brought out and they have been put on the website. National seminars are organized to discuss the various survey results. Validated at unit level data relating to various surveys of National Sample Survey Organization are also available on magnetic media CD-ROM for sale at nominal prices. The various publications are also listed, which clearly depicts the significant activities of National Sample Survey Organization. Overall, we can conclude by stating that the National Sample Survey Organization of Government of India has a very important role to play in conducting the sample surveys on various issues from time to time, and it is one of the important sources for planning, policy making, and also for implementation of various projects in various sectors of development. And in that way, National Sample Survey Organization, its structure and its implementation of various rounds in which the various aspects of characteristics of population, various aspects of development, and the various issues of program implementations have been covered, so that this book forms a major source of information for the users, especially not only in the academic field but also in the project implementation and also for various sectors of development. This has become a very important source of information, and in this way the sources that comes out at national level constitutes a major official statistics for implementation of the developmental activities in the country.